I would like to begin this video by wishing Mrs. Masako Nozawa-san a very happy birthday. She is possibly one of the most iconic voices in the anime industry. From voicing the Sun family members in Dragon Ball to voicing the Guilmon line from Digimon Tamers. Similarly, in Digimon Adventure 2020 reboot series, she is the narrator, and I wish her a very happy birthday and a strong and healthy life ahead. With that being said, this episode was simply magnificent, and this is possibly my favorite episode of this season so far, along with the Orochimon episode. Classically, Digimon has been compared to the monster of the week genre all the time, and this episode in particular is a departure from that particular trope. Because this episode didn't just focus on Taichi and Yamato and their adventures, but rather it focused as a development of the whole group in general from different multiple fronts. It was lovely to see the interactions of all the other characters as well, and a plethora of different Digimons appear in this episode. So let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Undervisey, my name is Soham and today we are going to talk about Digimon Adventure 2020 Reboot Series episode number 21. Now if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to the channel since I do weekly Digimon Adventure related content. Also, we're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of 2020, so a like and sub would be massively appreciated. Now let's begin the video. Now obviously the episode begins with Skull Knightmon and he's escaping to his castle-like place, and Taichi and Yamato try to chase this guy, but they reach to a place which is full of dark miasma. And this is not normal dark miasma, rather this is pretty concentrated here, and it looks like this is the actual origin source of this thing. Moreover, Skull Knightmon puts the egg of Angemon inside a dark chamber-like thing, and there are shackles which are bounded to that egg. I'm pretty sure that this is the overall plan of Devimon so far, because Devimon also appears in this episode and he's looking as menacing as ever. But that's not the only thing that happens here, because this is just the beginning of the plot. Because from that dark miasma, a new Digimon appears, and that is Splashmon. To be perfectly honest with you all, I do not like the design of Splashmon, and I didn't like it here either. It was really obnoxious and on the nose for me, and I don't like the design element and the incorporation of miasma to it. Now Splashmon proves to be a very formidable opponent for Wargarurumon as well as Metal Greymon, and they're really getting defeated by this Digimon left and right. Moreover, he's easily able to evade all their attacks because of its miasma constriction. He is a very formidable opponent for these guys, and things are not looking good for them. But in the midst of this particular battle, Takeru, who was holding a Holy Digimon feather, notices something. He goes down a very big hole or cavity like thing, and he finds a very large Digimon who has been encased in shackles. Using the power of his Digivice, he frees this Digimon, and this Digimon is later revealed to be Eldraddimon, who is actually the entire landmass on top of which the castle is actually created. So this was something really awesome in my opinion. And not just that, in the middle of this battle, we also cut back to the real world where we get to see the family side of Joe and Mimi. This was a really heartwarming interaction in my opinion, because Mimi's family is very perplexed by the words of Mimi, because Mimi has become a lot humble now. She says that she is thankful to have a proper bed, a proper bath and a proper breakfast. And her family asks her, why isn't that pretty normal stuff? So she says that no, I'm very thankful for having that. Because of course, she suffered a very long and treacherous journey in the digital world, so obviously she has a lot more appreciation for these stuff right now. Moreover, we also get to see the side of Joe's family, and Joe's mother is actually very angry at him because he had supposedly ditched the school for 3 days. Obviously, none of the parents actually know what had happened so far, and they feel like their children had gone missing for 3 days. That's a very interesting concept that the anime is taking by involving their parents so far. I know the parents were involved in the first season as well, but I'm really liking this dynamic so far. I wonder how will the parents react to finding the eventual truth about the Digimon, and for me the most heartwarming interaction was Joe and his brother. That was really awesome stuff. And it kind of reminded me of Digimon Frontier for some reason. Talking of Digimon Frontier, we actually get to see a lot of Digimon from Digimon Frontier as well as Digimon Cross Wars in this particular anime, and I'm super happy about something like that. Moreover, we also get to see the side of Sora and Koshiro. Koshiro has updated the Digivices and now they can directly contact with the Digimon via these new Digivices. My man is an absolute genius, absolute freaking genius. But things are not just simple there, because currently there's a very disturbing thing going on in the digital world, and the other Digimon like Tentomon, Biyomon and the others are heading to that location because there's a huge disturbance that is going on here. Here we get to see Calmaramon, I had genuinely forgotten about this Digimon, this squid-like Digimon, and I actually had to refer to the wiki to find out her name. I'm really sorry about that. But damn, I was not expecting this. This Kalmeramon is actually controlling the Algomon, the smaller Algomon, which actually appeared in the very first episode. She is able to control all these Digimon, and she is kind of corrupting the entire region there, or corrupting the entire system there. As a result of this, something very tragic is about to happen in the very real world. What happens here is that particular system controls the AIS or AIB system, the automated system of the ships and all. And what happens here is that these Digimon take over the control of this ship, and this ship is about to hit the mainland. This is a very big trouble or very big problem that is coming up, and it's going to be very interesting to see how the entire thing evolves. Moreover, Koshiro is very concerned about the Algomon as well, because he knows the power of Algomon and what will happen if they eventually evolve. So this was really good stuff. And finally, we head back to Taichi and Yamato. War Garurumon is struck very hard and it digivolves back to Gabumon, and Metal Greymon's arm has been grabbed by Splashmon. It is corrupting Metal Greymon, and half of its entire body is turning into miasma-like substance. The situation is very dire here, and Metal Greymon's arm has been grasped by the teeth of Splashmon. He is in a lot of pain, and Taichi the Alpha is not able to see all of this. My man is just awesome. I really love this version of Taichi so far, and to be honest, it kind of reminds me of Daisuke from Digimon Savers. I know it's not an exact copy or something, but his personality has kind of been given to this version of Taichi as well, which is something I really love so far. Taichi jumps to the moment and is trying to open the mouth of Splashmon in order to free Metal Greymon from its grasp. Hell, even Taichi's own arms are getting corroded by this dark miasma stuff, and he is in a lot of pain as well. But he will not give up, because this is the location of the Holy Digimon, which Agumon was pointing in the very beginning of the series. This is their eventual destination, and they have to overcome this particular battle in order to free Angemon as well. This is his motivation, and he will not give up here. This is the power-up that was needed for Metal Greymon, and oh boy, I was not expecting this. This power-up was simply amazing, and I'm so happy that War Greymon didn't happen here. Because it wouldn't have made much sense here, but this particular power-up was simply amazing. What happens here is that the other non-metallized arm of Metal Greymon, that is the right arm, transforms into a freaking, I don't know what this thing is called. It's a sword as well, but it's a blaster as well. It kind of reminded me of Shine Greymon's blaster for a moment, but then I tried to remember, and oh boy, this is something I was not expecting. This is actually the modified trident arm of Metal Greymon Virus X. Remember that design? That was totally cool, and that particular arm is being used by Metal Greymon here. I'm pretty sure that this is a mode change sort of stuff, and we'll probably get more information about this on Twitter and other stuff as well. If I get more information about it, then I'll definitely add it in the comments or something. But this is it. And with this new form change or new mode change, Metal Greymon is finally able to defeat Splashmon. This was a very epic episode, and I'm really happy about it. Next week we are going to get more information about the Angemon stuff and how Devimon is involved with all of this. I am a really big fan of this episode, and I really enjoyed it so far. But what are your opinion about all of this? Please mention your thoughts in the comment section below. So that's it for today guys, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more. This is WonderWyZ, and I'll see you soon in the next episode.